Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite episodes of Community, which is my favorite sitcom, one of my favorite sitcoms ever, probably tied with Parks and Recreation. So this list isn't best to worst, it's more like, season 1 through season 6. I'm going chronologically. And, yeah, there's a lot more episodes that would be on the list, but I thought I should limit myself to top 10, the very best of the best, in my opinion, because I'm an individual. Um, so yeah, starting off with season 1, episode 23, Modern Warfare. This is the first paintball episode that the show has done, and it's so clever because before this, Community was a great show, but like they've never this episode makes them very different from other sitcoms. They go all out. Like, it feels like an actual action movie, which is funny because it's directed by Justin Lin, of all people. Um, so, the school has started a paintball competition, and whoever wins gets first priority registration for the next year. So, everybody goes, like, insane. It turns into like an action movie from the 80s. Like, I don't know, it reminds me of, the Terminator, those references to Scarface. It's a lot of, like, Predators mentioned here. It's really cool. It's like a post-apocalypse. They reference, like, The Walking Dead, I think. The show, like, it's just, it's just insane. And I think some of my favorite episodes of Community all the grounded ones, because we get to learn more about the characters. But also, I really like the crazy ones. Well, the show just lets loose and doesn't really stick to its usual formula, and gets these huge like movie references while still containing the heart of the characters' motivations. They never really jump the shark. They jumped the shark a couple times, but for the most part, I think they're able to maintain that balance. Moving on to season 2, episode 14, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. So, as somebody who's never played Dungeons and Dragons, I still really enjoy this episode. Um, One of the funniest in the season. It sucks that they took it off of Netflix, but now they took everything off of Netflix, so I guess it's even now. Um, but it's so funny. So this is the episode where Pierce really solidifies his tone as a villain. Um, it's kind of been hinted at throughout season 2, but now he's really villain mode. He's like, playing against the rest of them, turning everybody against each other, trying to ruin Fat Neil's life because he feels excluded from being in the asked to play Dungeons and Dragons. And trust me, I feel excluded a lot too by my friends from time to time. I'm not always included in all the social gatherings, so I get where Pierce is coming from. But I think he took it a little too far. I think he took it way too far there. But what follows is like such a funny episode. So many good lines, like Bretta roaring about with the fictional gnomes, Annie seducing Abed as a gnome because he's Hector the well endowed. So many like so many classic moments are in this episode, and I don't know, I love it. And moving on, we have the two-part finale of season 2, which is a fistful of paintballs and for a few dollars more. So this is kind of the sequel to the first paintball episode, except more epic in scale, I'd say, more grander, higher dramatic stakes. Um, we really find out where Pierce's loyalties lie in these two episodes. The first part is a reference to the Sergio Leone spaghetti western movies of the 60s, which I'm a big fan of those movies, so I feel like I'm like one of the only people who got those references, but it was so funny, like whenever they would make one. And then the second part was a Star Wars reference, a little bit more mainstream, as Abed would say, but very enjoyable too. Um, it's like the whole clash between City College and Greendale College reaches its hilarious conclusion. The dean is really funny here. Bretta's funny here. All of them are great, but I think Pierce kind of takes the show and he explains to them, why he acts the way he does, because he expects people to leave him. So he just feels like he'd sabotage his relationship so he could beat them to the punch. Um, which, yeah, that kind of hits home a little bit. Okay, moving on to season 3, episode 4, Remedial Chaos Theory. This is probably one of the most famous episodes of Community, and for good reason. So, this is a bottle episode. It's a bottle episode, guys. Oh my god. Honorable mention, by the way, to the other bottle episode where Andy thinks one of them took their pen, but something had to be cut from the top 10. But this is another bottle episode, which I think does really well. So they're all they're all hanging out in Abed and Troy's new apartment, and we see the same scene played 6 different times because they roll a dice to see who goes downstairs to pick up the pizza. So each of them shows them grabbing the pizza, and different scenarios follow. One of them is kind of sad and depressing. Another one is like happy. Another one's kind of weird and strange, and this other one is like ultimate chaos, like in the nightmare scenario. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it's comedy gold because they set up these jokes earlier in the episode. So seeing the scenes play out and something different happens each time is so clever. It's one of the best episodes they've ever done, and it has like ultimate rewatchability value. Next we have season 3, episode 17, Basic Lupin Urology, which even the title is funny because they're making fun of Law and Order, created by Dick Wolf. Urology, Lupine, get it? So this is a parody of Law and Order, which, as somebody who hates Law and Order and a lot of shows like it, I found it to be really funny. But I think people who like Law and Order would find it funny too. They just make fun of the repetitive, the repetitive formula of the show in a unique way. um, Annie and Jeff and Greta and Troy and Abed, they're all like trying to find out who killed the this hamster, or who who ruined one of their projects, and it just turns into like a Law and Order episode, except very clever and hilarious. It's an episode I go back to watching a lot. It's one of the most simple genre episodes, but I think it works. It's really funny, right, Momo? Okay, well, skipping season 4, because season 4 sucked ass. There was one good episode in season 4, which is, Momo, which is the one where they show, like, how they all got sent to Greendale, but it's not, like, a top 10 episode. So, I kind of have sympathy for season 4 because they did the best they could under the behind-the-scenes circumstances of not having a head writer on the show, but still, it sucked ass, so yeah, they're not having episodes on this top 10 list. Moving on to season 5, episode 3, Basic Integral Goodle Numenistics. I cannot say the title for the life of me. So this is one of my favorite episodes, the Ass Crack Bandit. He or she wanders around the school putting coins in people's butt cracks. It's such a ridiculous concept, but how seriously everybody in the show takes it is great. They turn into this like in crime movie investigation thing. Reminds me of like Gone Girl or Seven, something like that, David Fincher style. It's so clever. And I like at the end when you don't really know who the Ass Crack Bandit is, because the thing is, it could be all of them or none of them. They could be working together. Who really knows? It it's so funny. Moving on, we have cooperative polygraphy. So this is right after Pierce dies. So he hires a fake lawyer to interrogate them in case one of them killed him. And it's so funny because, like, even in death, Pierce has a presence on this show. His way of turning the group against each other to prove that he's not the only bad one there. It's so clever. It's so funny. Like, the dialogue in this episode, part of it which is being a bottle episode, pretty low concept episode, it works to its best because the dialogue flows so quickly, and I think most of the episode takes place in real time. And although like confessions they make about themselves and each other's change, I did it everywhere. It's so funny. Like every minute of this episode is so fast paced. Reminds me of a episode of The Thick of It, where the dialogue is so fast with those jokes that you can't even keep up. Moving on to season 5, episode 5, Geothermal Escapism. This is 3 top 10 episodes in a row. So this is the final episode with Troy, and Ovid can't really take it well. So he starts this campus-wide game of hot lava to, try to make it go on forever so Troy can't leave. And it's kind of sad, and I like Bretta being like, you have to express your feelings, and everybody just booing her, because I could relate to Bretta. I don't like bottling up emotions. I like to sing how I feel, so I don't know. It's a really good Bretta episode. I think Bretta's pretty underrated character, to be honest. So you have so many funny moments here, and it's also bittersweet because Troy leaves the show, and I think after this is when Community started to lose its steam because Troy was such an integral part of the show. Pierce was too, but when Troy left, I think you left kind of a big hole in the heart of the show. There were still good episodes after this, but it wasn't really the same. It's like when it's not as bad as when Michael left The Office because the other characters on Community more than able to make up for it. It just feels like a show like it's kind of winding down at this point. Besides a few classic episodes. Moving on to the last episode in this list, which is Season 6, Episode 13, Emotional Consequences of Broadcast Television. So this is one of my favorite episodes, and also one of my favorite TV finales, just because of how emotionally heavy it is, while also remaining the light and funny show Community is known to be. The whole episode is, Abed gets offered a internship in filmmaking, so he leaves for Los Angeles, and Annie joins the FBI. So the group's kind of breaking up. They're all going in different directions in life, and Jeff has mixed feelings about it because yeah, he's happy for his friends, but also he's gonna miss the community. So it's really emotional, because I feel like everybody has this thing where the friends or family kind of leave and go separate ways in life, and you just kind of have to deal with it. And the premise of the episode is funny too, because it's all the characters pitching what their ideal season 7 would be like, which is such a meta thing, and I feel like only a show like Community could get away with because the show's always been very meta like that, because of Abed treating the show like it's a TV show. Um, so yeah, it's emotional, but it's also really funny and a classic Community episode. So yeah, that's my list. Top 10 Community episodes, and let me know down in the comments if there's any you like that I left out of this list. Hopefully that movie gets made. They've been talking about it for like a couple years now, so hopefully they make it whenever the people's schedules collide. 'Cause, I'll be first in line. I think it's a streaming movie, so I'll be first to stream. That's something I hate about streaming. It's not like you don't have that community experience where you watch a movie with strangers. I don't know. I prefer movie theaters, but whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.